So Darkpulse Inc. closed the session of the 30th of June 2021 at $0.0801, an extension of 8.18%. During that session, we have about 205.9 million shares that crossed the tape, and it's saying it's below average. So we had an extension on a low volume, or relatively low volume. So we have a position in Darkpulse, market cap 376.1 million, 4.968 billion shares. And before we go into the technicals, we have this disclosure. It's a Form 8 disclosure, and it says here, that's the disclosure. You'll find the link in the description box below. It says here, on June 25th, 2021, Darkpulse, a Delaware corporation, entered into a letter of intent with Teradata Unmanned PLLC, a Florida limited liability company, pursuant to which the company agreed to pay the majority shareholder of Teradata $200,000 of restricted shares of common stock of the company, and $400,000 to be paid 12 weeks from closing exchange for 60% ownership of Teradata. Letter of intent terminates 60 days from the effective date. Closing is contingent upon customary due diligence and execution of a definitive agreement. So I think so Teradata, Darkpulse is trying to, or is acquiring 60% of Teradata. So that's the news that came out yesterday, the 30th. So moving on, we can see what's going on here technically for Darkpulse. The stock has been extending, and down here we can see some of the escalators are mixed. The price sort of changes has a slope, has a curve that is downward sloping. I think the momentum, okay, it looks like it's slightly upward sloping. MACD definitely above the histogram. 14 period slow stochastic oscillator extending. MACD definitely above the signal line, because usually that is always the case whenever the stock is above its 10-day moving average, and that is clearly what we have. So the last time it ever traded below that 10-day moving average was at the close of 7th of June. So it has done a good job of staying up way above that 10-day moving average. It hasn't even, it had a significant support at the $0.047 range or level. That was on the 16th when it pulled back. Yes, it pulled back. It was a sharp pullback. Yes, it was more than a correction, I believe. Yes, it was. And since that time has continued to extend. Because has continued to extend, even though we had a very narrow session at some point, but it is a gradual increment. It's looking, such increments make it look safe, and it makes it look safe. But let's see what it says here. It appears to be, definitely strongly bullish, in a strong bullish trend. Its 200-day moving average is upward sloping, and the MACD histogram is above zero. We saw that. It's the 200-day moving average is upward sloping. All of them are definitely upward sloping, and the 14 period slow stochastic oscillator is bullish. It indicates that investors are paying higher prices for shares, and the unbalanced volume indicator has a slope that is positive, and suggests that buyers are presently more active than sellers. And this slope is also bullish as well. Yes, the 14 periods, yes, it's definitely the case. So we have the momentum and the volume indicating that the stock is just validating what we are looking at. The stock is on a bullish trend. It's extending, but of late, gradually 8%. Okay, it's quite a big one, but even at that, we've seen what's going on these days. Sometimes we see 200%, so that is really good to some extent, And as a matter of fact, the signals are very, very, very positive. So it's also these positive signals. It's also an indication to certain market participants who are not involved to actually do so. I mean, this very small extensions it's having compared to what it had before. We can see what we have here graphically. You can see very sharp extensions. So, but given all that is going on now, it is just extending gradually and not being that volatile. It makes it look a little bit safe. It's for certain market participants who are not exactly sure of where to go next. It can present a safe, a brief safe position for them. They can just come in, and even if things are, if it continues to extend gradually like that, they might even feel confident and leave their position as it is and go do other things. So that's just the positives of just these gradual increments that it's exhibited of late. But this is just what has exhibited of late. It could retrace, it could retrace sharply or anything, but in the time being, I think it's gradually extending and putting out a safe indication. Come and invest. It's not that crazy. It's not it's not it hasn't joined the meme free. It's not a meme stock. So it doesn't mean that it's popular. It's popular, but just you understand what I'm saying. So let's go ahead and see what happened. When the session closed, they actually retraced sharply. Yes, it was actually on the decline when that session ended. So it was actually at 0.0879, and yeah, that was where at some point it actually reached 0.0886. But this is just a few hours before the market closed. But at the same time as well, it was also trying to extend when the market ended. So we'll see what's going to happen by the time the current session of the 1st of July resumes. So statistically, you can see that the stock closed at 0. Let's find that price again. It closed at 0.0801. So that's where it closed, 0.081. So yes, we can see that it is safely trading within its 1 standard deviation range. It is safely trading within that range, and this is how it is expected to trade. The standard deviation just gives you a guide of what it should be trading on a regular session based on relative to its 10-day moving average. So it's safely within that range. And then for the 20-day moving average, it's also within that range as well. It has even more room, and as you can expect, it should have more room there. But in the case of the 50-day moving average, that is now where you see that in the intermediate period, the stock has its is trading at a premium. It has run up a significant amount of gain. Yes, it has. So if you even want to approximate this, you can see that it's just slightly outside that 50-day moving average, but in absolute terms, it is not within that range. It's just validating what we already know. The stock ran up a huge amount of gain just within this month, just about maybe roughly 3 weeks ago. So it would definitely be the case. It would definitely not. But I mean, it wouldn't be unexpected if it's not trading within that 50-day moving average. So the good thing is that given all those extensions, it is still trading within the 1 standard deviation range of its 10-day and 20-day moving average. So I would say if you're ready there in the stock, remain there and see whether it's going to extend some more. But at the same time, it has brought up a decent amount of gain. If you want to take money off the table, by all means do so, and just still leave some fraction of that position of yours there. If you want to get involved, by all means also as well do so, even though normally we wouldn't recommend that you do so when it's trading at a premium to its moving averages, especially the 10-day moving average, especially short-term moving average. But if you're going to do so, just do so with a small amount of money. The signals are very much bullish. There's a good chance that it may also continue to extend, but it has run up a huge amount of gain. But at the same time as well, expect people to shave off their positions and expect it to gradually retrace. So because we're not seeing a very strong momentum, even though the momentum is still very much bullish, but it's not as strong as before. This is also expected, so see how it goes, and just be careful, diversify your portfolio as much as you can. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video.